Hi,
Hi,
Rachel. How
so
are you?
excited to be here with you today. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So I'm going to start off with a question that my 6-year-old has for you. We
Okay.
love Gabby's Dollhouse. We have watched
Aw.
all of the seasons. They're actually watching season 2 right now. Um,
Aw.
and my 6-year-old would love to know if you have a favorite episode and why.
Mm. Well, you're gonna have to tell your 6-year-old that I do, and it's in season 3, so she's gonna have to watch season 3.
Awesome. Is there a reason that that one's your favorite?
It was just really, really, really cute, and the show itself is already the cutest show I've ever seen, so I don't understand how they went cuter, but they did. You'll see. Season
Awesome.
3 is even cuter.
So I was explaining to my daughters how many shows that we love you have actually voiced characters in. So My Little Pony, Ben 10, Teen Titans, the list goes on. I mean, your voice acting is extensive. But what I'm very interested to know is what is your process for getting these distinct voices, because each one is different, and I had to really like tell my kids that no, like that is the same person that voices this character. So what is your process, and then what was your process for getting the distinct voice for Kitty Fairy and Mama Box?
Well, thank you for saying that, Rachel, because I'm very conscientious about giving each character I do something special and unique. Sometimes I'll be on a show and it's like, oh, we really want this to sound like Bubbles or like Timmy. I'm like, no, because Bubbles lives in Townsville and Timmy's with the Fairly Odd Parents, so you can't do that. So sometimes coming up with something unique can be challenging, but it's very important to me. So thank you for recognizing that. And when you have an audition, they'll give you a drawing of the character and a character description, and you have to sort of try and use your imagination along with the information you've been given to bring this character to life that a writer and a team of people have conceptualized. And I usually lay down 3 different choices in my home studio, and I will edit it myself and not send it until I love it. I'll usually give 3 different choices. Um, for a character and hope that one of them intrigues someone enough to bring me back for a callback. Because even at the callback stage, then they might say, oh, now we want her a little older, or now we want her to be missing her front teeth, or now we want her to be from Ireland, or now we want her to be a boy, or now, and you sort of have to go, okay, 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 and play around and do different things with your voices. So it's a very fun collaborative process to get to the point of creating a character. And Gabby's was the same. There was super adorable drawings that I was given, wonderful character descriptions to really understand who these characters were. This show has some very beautiful writing on it. And the voices I came up with were really based on the information that I was given. And then again, working collaboratively with the creative team once I booked those roles and making sure that they each had a very different place in their voice and their age and their personalities was something that we worked on together.
Awesome. It sounds like you birth a new character every
Hmm.
single time. And I just
Yeah,
want to
it's kind of like that.
congratulations. It's amazing
Oh,
every
thank
time.
you.
So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
So we know that the last couple of years have been crazy with the pandemic and COVID. My question to you is that since you are a professional voiceover actress and you have a home studio, did you run into any issues with the recording at home with everything? Because a lot of animated shows and movies were having to go from, recording in a recording studio to everybody working from home. Did it affect you at all?
I have to say, knowing how devastating the pandemic has been for so many people, millions of people, I'm very grateful that voiceover in particular really didn't miss a beat. And particularly if you had a home studio already, you were up and running and good to go. So maybe in the very beginning, when we weren't sure how long the world was going to be closed for, there was a little bit of a delay. And also at first, the kinks, who can hear who when you're on Zoom. Is it better to record on this program, or how to lay down music virtually? Those kinks were worked out real quick. It really is the only leg of the entertainment industry that did not miss a beat. So I'm really grateful that I have a home studio that I was able to work right away and not miss any work. I know what a gift that is.
So Gabby's Dollhouse is a wonderful kids show that teaches kids a lot about friendship and kindness. And as a parent myself, it's important that that's instilled in my kids, and my kids watch shows for that. But also, I love the fact that I can take these shows and I can introduce my kids to the actors and voice actors behind it and spark their creativity and the idea that there are many things that they can do in their life if they choose. So,
Hmm.
what are a couple pieces of advice that you would give to kids who are looking to get into the voice acting space, or didn't even know that it was a viable option to for a career?
Well, I would say, particularly to the ones who came to this planet knowing they want to be performers, because you have to have an acting background. You have to have that sort of spirit about you to be able to be successful in this business. Most voiceover people have done many stage productions on camera, can sing. You have to have a good ear. Um, and really work at your craft, take all kinds of acting classes, scene study, and I always recommend to take improv classes because it's a wonderful place to get real confident at playing with different voices and different characters and trying things on without being embarrassed. Because often when you're in a studio, they'll ask you to read an additional part and you sort of have to come up with a character like that. And so improv sort of helps you with your confidence there. And then I would say to take a voiceover acting class with somebody very reputable that is either a casting director or a successful working actor. And it's very easy to fall into bad hands. Like there are companies that promise people work if you pay to audition, and that's just not true. No one can promise anybody work, and there's no one in my business that got there because they paid to audition. They simply pay their agent a percentage after they've booked a job. So be wary of people that promise things in this business because it's actually very, very hard to break in. And not that there's not room for people if that's what's in your spirit and coursing through your veins. But just know that you have to really be at the top of your game. There are hundreds of people vying for every role every time. So you gotta keep that energy going. And I still get really excited every time I book anything. So you have to really, really love it to be able to maintain a career.
Awesome. Thank you. That's perfect. Great advice.